Hi, I'm Bryan Colligan with Alphagrowth. I'm here at the Starfish Lab stage today, here at Founder World, and we're talking to Philip of JLab.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Philip, how are you?
Good.
Philip, so tell me a little bit about JLab and what you're doing here today.
Yeah, so just a little background about myself. I'm currently an investment manager at JLab.
Okay.
And JLab, we're the blockchain and cryptocurrency arm of a large private equity group in China called JD Capital.
Excellent.
JD Capital manages over $9 billion in assets under management, but we're sort of the crypto and blockchain arm for that larger arm.
So how long have you been in the space?
So I've been in the space since 2013. Back then it was sort of just me gaining an interest in blockchain and Bitcoin, and we were doing a little bit of mining back then. I got a little bit more serious about the space since 2017.
Okay.
I guess at the time Ethereum was taking off, and I was personally investing my own money in a couple of ICO projects.
Excellent. So, as an investor, what are you looking for today in terms of a project, or what's your investment thesis?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest things that is driving our investment thesis right now is looking for real adoption. And so, where does this adoption come from? So when you say blockchain, it's a pretty big umbrella, and we can sort of segment that down into a couple different things, right? So maybe on the enterprise side, I guess blockchain companies, projects, whatever, trying to use blockchain technology and applying that in an enterprise setting. And we're really looking for the founders who develop the correct technologies that are actually impactful to enterprises. I guess more on the consumer side, you have just general cryptocurrencies, smart contracts, et cetera. And the main problems there, I think, from our point of view, is one, scalability. So right now, just a little bit of context, Bitcoin only does about 7 transactions per second. And Ethereum maybe 10 to 15, right, max. So we're looking for the next generation sort of consensus mechanisms to really push that to upwards of maybe 1,000 transactions per second. And then I guess another barrier would be sort of the high volatility of the price of these cryptocurrencies, and so another area that we're looking into is stablecoins. So that people can actually spend these cryptocurrencies as opposed to just holding it or speculating the value.
People are really afraid of the volatility of the coins. They don't want to hold them, or they're very speculative and they're holding them for speculation. But what you're saying is the stable coins a lot more people will adopt them.
Yeah, I think. So what makes spending, Bitcoin or Ethereum hard, hard is that the value fluctuates, right? So even if it's going up in value, I don't really have an incentive to spend it, because if I spend it, that's sort of like I'm selling the token. But if it's going to go up in value, why not just hold it, right, and spend a more stable currency like the U.S. dollar? And so real adoption is actually probably going to be coming from, a token that you can actually spend, right? So
cool. So 2 or 3 projects that you're really bullish on? Yeah,
right now, so just a disclaimer, we've invested in some of these projects. But one is Thunder Token. So essentially, they've created a new consensus mechanism that is a lot faster than the current implementations of, blockchains. And then another project would be, Basis, which is creating a stable token. We're using this sort of algorithmic central bank mechanism to stabilize the price at about $1.
That's awesome. So if you're a stable coin or you're a scalable token project, how can somebody reach out to you?
So if you're one of these projects, I think usually they have a pretty good sort of community manager, and I think it's not very difficult just to send them an email. And with all these projects, they really want to be building a large community, a strong community, and I think they'll be receptive to anybody who has a good idea, maybe to build on top of their technologies as well.
All right, so if people want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Philip Liu, and then Junior, and
that's it. Philip, this has been excellent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Cool.